Hello everyone, my name is Financial Charles. Today is March 15th of 2024, and today the Bitcoin price has dropped all the way down to $68,000. So in this video, I just wanted to talk about how good that is, that we are currently experiencing a pretty sizable correction around the $68,000 range. We almost got to 74,000, and now we dropped down all the way to 68,000. If we measure how far that we've come down, let's see here, from 73.8 or 73.7, somewhere around there. Currently at 68,000, we've dropped about 7.58 to 7.6%. And then if we take the wick all the way down here, we can see that we've even wicked down to almost 11%. I didn't even see that. Yep, we're almost 11% drop. And apparently earlier today we dropped all the way to the $65,000 range, which I'm very glad to see this type of correction. It's not good when a market just goes straight up like that. And we've been going pretty much nowhere but straight up ever since October, I would say. So it's good that we're seeing this dip right here. And this dip is actually, it really is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Let's go back. So the all-time high about 73.7, and then we had a correction of about just about 11%, and that's not even the biggest correction that we've had this cycle. For a couple days ago on March 5th, we went from $69,000 and we wicked down to the $59,000 range. It was about 13.78%, which is still bigger than the correction that we're currently in right now. And then if you go back even further, right after the ETF approval, we put it in a high of around the high $48,000 range, and then you take it down. This is about a 21% correction from 49 to 38,000. And then if you go further into the bull run, we've even gone from, let's see, this $31,500. We corrected all the way down here. So this is also about a 21% correction. And then the correction before that we had in April of 2023, this is also about a 20% correction, or from April to June. And then over here, we also had this correction from February 2023 to March of 2023. We went down 22%. So the correction that we're in right now, it's nothing new really, and it's actually really good that we're seeing a correction like that. It's good when we see things like this, because it shows a healthy market, that people are, taking profits and all that, and this is your time to step in and buy some discounted coins. And I know it sounds really weird to say that, to buy now at 68,000 is a discounted price, because if you just went back on, just not even last month, but the beginning of this month, the beginning of March, we were still in the low 60s. So to say like, oh man, it's so high, I don't want to buy here at the $63,000 range, now it's like we're cheering that we have the opportunity to buy at a discount of $68,000. And then the previous bull run, the corrections were even a lot more dramatic. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to switch the charts here. Yes, let's see if it'll load though. But yeah, this was last cycle pretty much. Let's see if we can just put this on a log scale. It'll be easier to see. But, if we consider the November 2021 peak to be the high, it's like in April of 2021, we went from the $64,000 range, and then we dropped to, in June of 2021, we dropped to the $29,000 range. So this was about a 55% correction right in the middle of the bull run. But you could say that like anything over a 50% correction, that's kind of it's kind of putting an end to the bullish momentum. And like as soon as we saw this, it just became a sideways market for 2021, and then we finally had the rug pulled on us in 2022. But on the way up, even, right, if we go from the previous bear market bottom, which was around this $3,000 range, you can take December of 2018 and then drop down to whatever this date is, February 2019. Just that couple month frame, we corrected. Let's see, about 21% there. Like, you can go through Bitcoin's history and like there's like plenty of corrections. This was a 26% correction. This over here, this was a another 20% correction. Like, all these corrections, it's like this is nothing, or like not this is nothing, but the current 11% correction that we're at, going from 74 to 68, that's nothing. This is what a healthy market does, you know. And then even here from the 2019 top to the COVID low, you have, let's see here, that's a 72% correction. That's a whole bear market pullback in itself, you know. And then even in September or August, September of 2020, we corrected. That's another 20% correction right there. So all of these are just corrections. And then when Elon bought, or Tesla bought, that's a 30% correction up there. And when you go back even farther, right, during this legendary 2017 bull run, we could see a lot more corrections during the bull. This went from 700 to 450. That's almost a 40% correction. That's 38% right there. This was a pullback of 34%. This over here was a pullback of 33%. So, you know, bull runs, they will have these steep corrections. They will have these drastic corrections, but over time, it's like it will just keep on going higher and higher. In a bull run, the trend is your friend till the end. The trend is upwards. This tiny minuscule correction is just a buying opportunity. I wouldn't even wait for it to be like a more sizable. Like, I'm not even going to wait for it to go down 10 to 20% or 15%. Like, here, this pullback at 10.8%, that's already good enough. Like, you should just buy that. Had you waited for this candle right here to turn into a 20% correction, then you would have missed out. You would have missed out, because this correction from the 64,000 to 58,000, all right, that's close to a 15%. So, but if you waited 20%, you would have never gotten that opportunity, and you would have ended up having to buy higher. So, you know, I welcome corrections like these. Red days like this actually make me feel good. You know, there's a certain point where you just rewire yourself to, like when it's nonstop pumping up, you see double-digit green percentages. It's like, it's nice because we did buy, but it's also painful because now we don't get to buy at like an earlier price. When I see these juicy red 5% days, these are the days that I like. These are the days that I like, because it shows that, like, we've already come to the thesis that Bitcoin is going to go up forever. So if that is the case, if that is true, which we do think it's true, we would be much better off having prices as low as possible for as long as possible. Like, for example, we zoom out and we see that we've surpassed the all-time high before the halving. According to history, we should have surpassed the all-time high probably around November or December of 2024, which is later this year. So imagine if, let's say this right here, let's see if I can even just put on some drawings. These drawings are disgusting. But let's say right here is where, right here, this is historically where Bitcoin breaks its all-time high, Q4 of the halving year. Imagine if, let me just bring it to this graph. Hopefully I didn't screw it up. There we go. And let's put some drawings on here. You can just ignore these lines too. But let's take November of 2024, Q4 of 2024. Usually, we would see the all-time high go up here, or we would see the all-time high get surpassed around this range. But we saw it getting surpassed a lot sooner. We set a new all-time high in February, which is 2 months before the pre-halving year. So imagine this whole time, this whole 2024 from February to November, we're buying Bitcoin at these like $60,000 range. It's going to be a lot more expensive. So like you could spend $5,000 and you're going to get less sats out of those $5,000, as opposed to if Bitcoin just was down here. If Bitcoin was down here, like let's say that this whole rally right here, let's just pretend this didn't even happen, right? This would have been better. Hold on, let's see. Come on. All right, whatever. This would have been better to see some movement like this, right? And then it just kept going, maybe even downwards. and then after that, then it starts creeping up, and then we hit these all-time highs, right? Let's say if this yellow line was the real path, then each time we dollar cost average, we would have gotten so much more sats for our dollar, like down here, as opposed to up here. Like now we're the same amount of US dollar being spent, we're getting less sats. So that's the downside of Bitcoin is always going up, just always going up, because like had we gotten what this yellow line is showing, like we would have had more Bitcoins, just period. We would have had more money allocated to Bitcoin in terms of, the units, like Bitcoin units, like we would have had more units of Bitcoin if this was the movement as opposed to rocketing up. Because now Bitcoin is just more expensive. Am I saying don't buy now, just wait? No, I'm not saying that, because the US dollar will always be inferior to Bitcoin, but it'd be nicer to see like a pattern like this, where it's like when it's down like that, now it's like we can buy as much sats as possible. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We got to do with the market. We got to take what the market gives us, really. So yeah, we're at all-time highs now, and the way that the whole bull run has been so far, the fact that this has only been 20 to 25% drawback, 20 to 25% drawback, 25% drawback, 20% drawback, and now all of these corrections, all these mini corrections up here, it's like 10 to 15, 10%, like I'm not even waiting for it to be like, 25% drawback. I'm trying to buy as much Bitcoin as possible, really. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I had to show for today. Just wanted to show you that 11% correction that we're currently in is nothing, and that this is the type of price action we want. We like to see it when it corrects like this. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had for this video. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next video.